Let's take a chickpea in our hand and look at it. How many letters do you think we can write on this chickpea? 5? 6? If we force it, we can write 10 lowercase letters. And how about an entire book like the Great Quran? If all its letters were to be written on a chickpea, wouldn't it be amazing? And what if I told you that we'd seen countless examples of this throughout our lives but didn't realize it? When we look around us, the trees that are meters tall, the smell of flowers, the vegetables and the fruits we eat, even the giant trees were all a small seed or a kernel a few months ago. Isn't it interesting? We can see these seeds as storage. In fact, every seed is like a software program. Whichever plant it belongs to, written on that seed is how many leaves it will have and how many branches, as well as the shape of the plant, its color, its size, and the stages it will go through. Everything about that plant is stored in that tiny seed. We are looking at the seed and the tree. Take the peach tree, for example. We cannot establish any connection between the fruit and the seed. In other words, neither the taste, the smell, or beauty of the peach is present in that seed. Most importantly, the life of the tree is never seen in the seed. One is dead, the other is alive. Maybe there is something in the other matters involved. Let's take a look at them as well. What does the seed require to become a tree? The answer to that question is soil, fertilizer, water, light. But there is no taste, no smell in them either. Have we lost our sense of taste and smell? Or have we been infected with COVID for centuries? But when we eat the fruit, we can taste and smell it very well. Then we need to understand that if you can get such good taste or smell from something that had soil in its ingredients, or rather not just taste and smell, but even produce from juicy oranges to crimson pomegranates, from sour crisp plums to the sweetest melon, from fragrant strawberries to corn kernels. If you can get dozens of different tastes and smells from these substances, if you can see the colors, the shape, the beauty, then for me, all of these introduce an entity whose generosity and art are unique. The interesting details actually do not stop there. With the help of a knife, we cut open the fruit to see inside. And what do we see? The same seed that was planted is there. In fact, not just one, but hundreds of seeds come as gifts in these fruits. In other words, 1,000 trees come from one tree. And this way, the generation of the same fruit, the same tree easily survives so that people can grow it. Even an item used today wears out and becomes useless within 100 years. But the fruit that lived in the time of our grandfathers, some 1,000 years ago, can pass from generation to generation with the same freshness and beauty via the seeds. Even if it is not planted, that seed can be preserved from 10 months up to 100 years and be planted later. Now let's pay attention to the following detail. 1. A tree was extracted by processing the program inside the seed. Okay, and then? 2. This time hundreds of versions of the same software are written inside the fruits of that tree. When one of the most complicated jobs in the world is to write software, programming this seed thoroughly could be neither due to a coincidence, to nature, soil, or water. Then there is only one option left. Someone who has the control of everything. The one who can make everything from one thing. It is the art of Allah. If we investigate how many different plant species there are in the world, we come across nearly 400,000 plant species, to which new ones are constantly being added. Most of them are plants with seeds. There are around 10,000 of them here in Turkey. What we see in a lifetime is well below 10,000. So what's inside these seeds? Have we ever wondered? You may be thinking, so if there are so many different plants, then their seeds must be very different from each other. But that is not the case. They are very similar to each other. We can say that carbon, nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen are the dough of these. These fruits, vegetables, and trees, which are very different from each other, have minimal differences. Despite this, nearly 400,000 different plants emerge from these seeds. Isn't it a complete work of art for so many different products to grow from seeds that look identical? Imagine a world without all these wonders that we've counted. For example, seeds could have only produced one type of fruit, or the fruit could have been seedless, or we might have had to wait a long time for them to grow. A watermelon could have taken 10 years to grow. It could have even been like this. It could have been necessary to constantly deal with the plant, for example, to touch it every minute. I mean, you plant it in the field and you take care of it now and then. It could have been a system that you needed to take care of it all the time. Or the materials you need to cultivate them could not have been water or light, but could have been very hard to find. The life of the seed could have been very short. For example, if you don't plant the seed within 10 minutes, then it dies. It could have been any of these. These are countless negative possibilities like these, and then life would be a disaster. But none of these happen. Or think about it. Instead of such a variety of foods, we could have only one type of food. Our tongues would always taste the same taste. For example, if the foods are different but taste the same, or we may not have a sense of taste at all. It could be a world where we only consume food to survive. But despite all these possibilities, we can eat dozens of fruits and vegetables. We can taste different flavors from each one of them. So we are the guests of a very generous entity. Let's end with these verses. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. أَفَرَأَيْتُم مَا تَحْرُثُونَ أَأَنْتُمْ تَزْرَعُونَهُ أَمْ نَحْنُ الزَّارِعُونَ? And have you seen that seed which you sow? Is it you who makes it grow, or are we the grower? See you in the next video.